Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my people subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Before we do begin, I do want to extend my gratitude and appreciation to all of you guys who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Happy Pride Month to all of you guys. I know it's very dark and heavy right now, and a lot of people are not celebrating it. I do want to know here on this YouTube channel you are safe with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's begin. We have a lot to get through today's video. This was a subscribers submitted question by Pink Winky underscore. So thank you for your submission. I do know a lot of you guys also asked this question in the past. It's going to be a combination video of the two because it seemed to be in relation to three people in particular: JD Vance, Leonard Leo or Leo Leonard, whatever his name is, and then also Opus DEI. We're going to take a look at that and find out what's going on there, and we'll go from there. Anyway, besides the point, if you guys want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, watching this video longer than normal, or just sharing this video content overall really helps the channel algorithm really well. And this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. If you, for whatever reason, you want to be notified when I do post and upload because YouTube does not notify you, do not worry. Just go into the comment section below or the description and follow my Blue Sky account or my Facebook group so you can be notified when I do post and upload next. I do also have a donation link in the description below for any chance you want to donate to the channel. Do not feel in any way particular obligated to donate. I do not ask you to donate. My subscribers have been repeatedly asking for me to include the link. Just want to let you know that it's there, but any donations that I receive here on the YouTube channel go directly into the YouTube channel back. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's begin. We have a lot to get through in today's video. This video is being recorded on Wednesday, June 4th at 1:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as and when I'm recording this specific video. Alright, so we have here a subscriber submitted question. It goes Pinky Winky underscore. Have you ever done a video on Opus DEI? We're going to take a look at that. I asked them if it's a fraternity. They said it's a cult and JD Vance has tied to it. So we're going to take a look at that and see if there is a connection here. Extreme Brand said it's a secret Roman Catholic society. And Oxford Cat said, how about Leonard Leo and Opus DEI? Chris is linked to the Catholic Church. There is some darkness involved, but as we know, Leonard Leo owns the Supreme Court. This will be very in-depth reading Illuminati. Okay, so we'll take a look at that and kind of see what we're getting from there. Actually, speaking of which, I have a really great tarot card deck for the Illuminati, so just be right back with me. Just hang tight for a minute. I'm going to go get that deck. But there's no better way to do it than that specific deck. Alright, thank you for waiting. Alright, so I got this deck a while ago because I thought we were going to need it for the Trump administration. I had not been wrong on this. This is called the Illuminati deck, the Game of Conspiracy by C. Jackson Games. It worked pretty well for the most part. So I just figured this would be a lot better. Kind of really see what we're going to get. So let's go ahead, let's take a look, let's find out about Opus DEI. This is a blind reading. I don't know who Leonard Leo is or even Opus DEI. So we're going to learn this together. It's going to be a full-blown blind reading. Anybody who does know about this, correct me in the comment section below if needed. Alright, so this is going to be pure intuition only. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's find out about Opus DEI. What is the secret society in the Catholic Church? Opus DEI. The secret society or cult. Okay. So it's in government. We know that. At least that's what it says now. That it's involved in government. Okay. Don't know if anyone's aware of that. Okay. Opus DEI. Tell me about Experience Angel. Opus DEI. Opus DEI. Towards the bottom deck, we have intellectuals. This is Atlantis Shrugged, Weird and Fanatic Intellectual. That's reverse. And here on the top, we have here Semi-Conscious Liberation Army. Criminal, violent, liberal, weird, communist. Okay. Interesting. Then we have this card here, Tri-Liberal Commission. Okay, we have more minority science fiction fans, and we have the post office, which indicates the government. There's a crack in government. So this is where they are right now. This is the post office, which is representing the power, the resistance, the income, which is represented via the government, which is the post office. So we're actually about Opus DEI and whether or not they're a relation. What is it? It is saying that it's an underground network that is related to the government in some form. However, there is stranger than fiction. Stranger in a strange land. So that's what it really means. Stranger in a strange land is stranger than fiction. So the weirder something is about this, the more likely it is true. The more normal something appears, the less likely it is to be true. Here we have a Tri-Liberal Commission. This is interesting because if they're talking about a cult-like behavior, you can't say what you see, you can't believe what you see, you cannot hear what you hear, and you cannot speak what you want to speak. Right? So any sort of cult is like that type of behavior. It's liberal and straight. As it's saying here, it's more a modern version, a modern twist on a cult-like behavior. So it's not one that one could be openly connected to in a very specific way. It's not one where they can think with a conscience. They tell them what to think. And here you have it, a more minority. So these are a very small group of people, but it's conservative, straight, and fanatic. We all keep getting the information here that there's either conservative and liberal. So this comes from both places of the aisle, both ideology here, both conservative and straight and fanatic. So that is what the moral minority means. Right, we already went over what the top and the bottom deck is. This is Opus DEI. I don't know exactly what this means yet, but we're going to see what it means. So Spirits and Angels, tell me about Opus DEI and the secret occult that apparently a cult-like behavior within the Catholic Church that is somehow now involved in government. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's find out. So each card represents the Opus DEI. Well, right now we're trying to figure out what is Opus DEI so we can be able to interpret it correctly in the rest of this reading. Underneath the post office, which represents the government, it represents trouble, which means there is trouble on its way. Underneath the science fiction fan, which means things are stranger than they appear. The more strange something is, the more accurate it is. The more normal something appears, the less accurate it is. This means something is fast-paced. So something that's high movement, or something that, like, just say, for example, there's something in the news that comes out in relation to Opus DEI or somebody who is actually engaged or is involved in this type of cult-like behavior. The faster the news cycle moves on something that's so controversial, the more likely it is to be true. Underneath the Tri-Liberal Commission is saying that you cannot speak what you see, hear, or heard. There's a limitation to one's ability to think consciously. This is the King of Wands. This is a positioned person. This is a leader. This is a conservative. This is a Republican type energy. This is my neoconservative card. This also is, ironically enough, the card that represents the Vice President. This is J.D. Vance. This is the card that represents J.D. Vance here. So J.D. Vance is, now we can say with 100% accuracy, again, this is for entertainment purposes only, you guys were already right that J.D. Vance is some way, in some form, connected to Opus DEI. He comes in the reading as he cannot speak, he cannot say what he wants, he cannot think consciously for himself. Underneath the moral minority, though, it is the Three of Wands here reversed. The Three of Wands reversed. This is interesting. This is my election night card. Right, election night card. Moral minority. Using the Bible in a very specific way. What does this book say? It says here by Derek Perry. I don't know who Derek Perry is, but that's what I'm seeing on the words here. It says Derek Perry. But the Three of Wands reversed. What does this card also mean? So tell me to clarify this card. The Spirit Angel tell me, clarifying the moral minority card and the Three of Wands reversed, what could this mean? Okay, what could it mean? Something getting uprooted, things in government getting uprooted, life getting uprooted. Something gets uprooted from its original foundation, but not without loss. So it's telling me here that there's something here that they lose, but they also have so much to gain from whatever it is that they're doing. Opus DEI is the 5 of cups reversed, which represents success in some way, but without failure. And here is the presidency. This is the star card reverse. They have not been able to clink the presidency yet. Here is the Queen of Swords. They hope to do so soon. They really want to go after the legal system. I'm getting something here that Opus DEI wants to go after the legal system, or they want to become actively involved in the legal system. Actually, now that makes a lot of sense, because Oxford Cass said that, how about Leonard, Leo, and Opus DEI? Chris is linked to the Catholic Church. There is some darkness involved. But as we know, Leonard Leo owns the Supreme Court. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So they want Opus DEI is actually involved and want to engage in behavior with the Supreme Court in some way to be able to get their agenda across. Okay, hold on, I need water. Okay, so now we know what Opus DEI, what they're trying to do. Information aligns pretty much with what you guys have said. So that's pretty good on that. So, all right, so. So now we're going to take a quick look and find out about who is Leonard Leo. I have no idea who that is. He sounds white. He might not be white. Who knows? You might find out in a minute. I'm going to try to see if I can gauge his energy. And then want to find out who Leonard Leo is. I'm getting energy that he's Asian. Like he is white but also Asian, or he might be a mix. But he's definitely not 100% Caucasian. So we're going to find in a minute who that is, but let's just take a look at his energy first. But that's the kind of aura that I'm getting for him. Okay. So Spirits and Angels, tell me about Leonard Leo. Right, that's his name? Leonard Leo. Tell me about Leonard Leo. Who is Leonard Leo, Spirits and Angels? Why is he in connection with Opus DEI? The Gnomes of Durek. Oh, he has money. He's rich. He has the gun lobby. He's in control of the NRA. I don't know if this is true or not, so guys, please verify the information for me. This is a blind reading. I know just as much as you guys. That's 0. And last card for who is Leonard Leo? The one who is in Opus DEI. Who is Leonard Leo? Thank you. Okay. Top of the deck here. Oh, okay. He is minority leader. More minority, excuse me. So again, this card comes up again, interestingly enough. So I guess that was the card that was represented early in today's reading of who this specific individual was or is. The top of the deck here for the Illuminati, we have the KKK. Well, this is conservative and violent. This is the first time the card ever came out. I didn't even know this card was in the deck. But we have the KKK here. And the bottom of the deck here is we have the Bavarian Illuminati. Okay, so I guess when you're talking about the Illuminati here, it does seem to in some way come more direct that it is in some relation to the Illuminati. So who is Leonard Leo based on what I'm getting? He is part of the one who leads this. He has some sort of stay or some sort of sway in the way that this type of cult-like behavior goes in some formality. He is the man with a lot of money or has something to influence certain results or certain outcomes. I'm going to check this in a second and see if he comes up on Wikipedia. We have here with gun lobby. Gun lobby. He is in control of the NRA or the ability to go after people who don't. Actually, hold on. I'm getting information. There's 2 different probabilities. Could be both. Could be one or the other. He's in connection with the NRA in some way, but he's also in some way connected to the heart attack type of gun, where they go after people if they don't deliver something. They go after and they essentially assassinate the individual so that they can get away with the crime without them getting caught. That's kind of like what I'm getting. I'm getting like that type of behavior. Is that if you don't do what they say after you sign up, or if you greet it as, well, essentially you would be eliminated. You have here, you have science fiction fans. Again, this card comes up again. Things are truer than they appear. The more strange something is, the more accurate it is. Like I said before, this comes in again with the science fiction fans. What you guys are getting has been on spot on. I'm actually astonished because this is the first time the Illuminati deck has been, you know, on the dot with this. Here you have health food stores. Any attempt to control anti-nuclear activists is liberal. This is a very conservative individual. So who's Leonard Leo? He is also a Republican. He is someone with conservative values in almost every degree. What is on the top of the deck here? Well, we have the KKK. So he's a very hateful individual. So he definitely has to be on the whiter side of things. Like I said, I felt like he was white. If he in some way is black, that's going to be surprising because it's going to be very much along the lines of Kanye West. This is the Barbarian Illuminati. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take a look at okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at Leonard Leo. Let's find out who this guy is. I have no idea who he is. Oh my God, that's what he looks like. Okay, this is not what I expected. I didn't know that he was going to look like a munchkin, but here we are. This is Leonard Leo. Out of all things, this is not what I would have imagined him to look like. Yes, I knew that his energy was giving me white energy, but this was not it. This was not what I expected. But it makes a lot of sense, you know? If you think about like a chihuahua, they're very angry, but they're little, they're mighty, but they're very angry. For me, this is what it feels very much like. Okay, so that's what it feels very much. Okay, so, actually, he was born in Northport, New York. That's even funnier. Okay, anyway, he is the chairman of the board of directors of the Federalist Society. He was born in New York. That kind of makes a lot of sense why I knew his energy, because I can feel it. Okay. Apparently, he's a lawyer and an activist. Let me find out if he's his net worth. Let's see how much his net worth is in 2024. It's difficult to determine Leonard Leo's exact net worth as it's not publicly available information. However, he's known to be a wealthy individual. He owns a home in Mount Desert Island, Maine. Additionally, the Conclave Fund, which he is associated with, has made substantial donations, including $573 to the New England Fishermen's Stewardship Association in both 2023 and 2024. According to these actions, they suggest a significant level of personal wealth. Apparently, back in November of 2024, on November 1st, there was a citizen for ethics.org. There was a video, or like what to call it, a news article that said Leonard Leo Tide nonprofits have paid his business $90 million in just 6 years. So, so he got to be a wealthy individual. This is represented by Crew, which tells me this person might be, he's a conservative activist. Perfect. So yeah, so it was accurate in every way. Let me just see if he supports gun rights, because that would just really be the nail in the coffin. Yeah, gun rights. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's here. Leonard Leo, a prominent figure in the Federalist Society, has been a key player in the conservative movement efforts to shape judicial appointments that influence legal outcomes, including issues like gun rights. Oh, there you go. Okay, so his organization, the Judicial Crisis Network, has been instrumental in advancing a conservative agenda that often prioritizes individual liberties and the right to bear arms, as interpreted through the personal rights lens of the Second Amendment. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. This is on the nose here, like a little too much on the nose. A little scary, and not going to lie. He was involved in some way with guns, specifically the NRA and gun rights. We talk things are trading in fiction. When this card comes up, it means something is true. Here you have he's wealthy. We talk about he being conservative and fanatic, and he had a desire for power, that he's a hateful individual, and we already declared that he was conservative, and I also said he was white. I just didn't think he was going to be a munchkin. That's the only thing I did not expect to be on my radar. But here we are. Anyway, going back into the reading. Now we understand who is Leonard Leo at his core, or we know who Opus DEI is. I don't know what your guys' question is in terms of this. So it says here, is it linked to the Catholic Church? Okay, that's what you guys want to know. You guys want to know if it's linked to the Catholic Church. We already linked it to J.D. Vance. So J.D. Vance already came in the reading, but we can ask what J.D. Vance is and his connection to it. We can ask that in a minute. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the church and see about the Catholic Church. And then we'll finish off the reading with J.D. Vance. This is actually rather interesting. Not going to lie. All right, so Opus DEI and Leonard Leo and his connection to the Catholic Church. Is there any sort of connection in any way with Opus DEI and Leonard Kim to the Catholic Church? It could be like an underground network too, so it might say no, but it could be. Who knows? Okay, there's money. There's hidden money. South American Nazi. We have interference reverse. Yippee. We have the Society of Assassins. Computer espionage. Then we have the CFLAIO. And the top of the deck here to represent this is the Pentagon, the government. So we're asking here, is this in some way connected to the Vatican? We're going to find out right now. What's the top of the deck here? We have here Texas in reverse. Okay. Interesting. So we're asking, is it connected to the Vatican? The Catholic Church in particular. Okay. So the first card that comes in here is the slush fund. Money, income, things hidden behind the scenes, slush fund. It's also giving me the anarchy system. It's giving me the anarchy like symbol with the 8, but it's in reverse. Anarchy in reverse. Here you have South American Nazi. It's interesting because we talked about the KKK earlier. I gotta really put this in disclaimer here, but we have conservative and violent. We're asking, is it in some way connected to the Catholic Church or the Vatican? We have here South American Nazi slush fund. It means underfunded, something being hidden behind the scene. So remember back in like the day earlier, probably like years ago or decades ago, they were talking about how there were Nazis who were escaping Germany so they don't go under the Nuremberg trial, and they escaped to Argentina, where Argentina will allow these Germans to kind of like take refuge, but also a lot of them came to the U.S. Remember that I told you a lot of Nazis came to the United States. This is interesting because there's this hidden slush fund with South American Nazi, which means a hidden tunnel of escapees who cause behind-the-scenes interference. So behind-the-scenes interference with yippies, which means conservative, which means that they are hidden liberals. So essentially what it is saying? It's saying that they mask themselves to be liberal in some way, but they're really anything but liberal. They don't represent the real idea of progression, to helping humanity in its progression forward, kindness, love, and peace, and stuff like that. Underneath the slush fund, we have here, they are truly represent our society, a secret society, a society of assassins. So what does this mean here? Are they in some way particular connected to the underground network of the Vatican or the Catholic Church, saying that this is indeed a secret society within the Catholic Church realm? We do have here, they are actively involved behind the scenes in computer espionage. Okay? And here you have it, the CFL -EAIO, which means liberal. Again, like I said, they are hating liberal, but they cause issue, they cause strife to get the desired outcome. So they're like playing a game of chess. It feels very much like chess game. And we're asking, are they in control, or are they actually involved in the church in some way? Yeah, they are, but behind the scenes, not in publicly open. So again, it's saying here that they appear liberal, but they are actually conservative. They are South American Nazis, so these are people who are hateful, who have hidden network of income. They cause interference. They are a secret society that actively engages in computer espionage. And here you have, they cause strikes, or they initiate certain things where people rebel, cause rebellion, and they are actually involved in a very coordinated group of people with lots of experience from all different planets of the earth. That makes no sense. But they are connected in some way where there are a lot of people with strong experience, with strong, powerful background who are actually involved in a connection with the Pentagon. But this does not mean that it could be in terms of the actual Pentagon. The Pentagon could be symbolizing a structure of government that is formulated on the idea and the conceptualization to initiate a policy or initiate a stance of some sort. But there is an organization, there's a power structure. So what does this mean here? It means that there is a power structure within the Catholic Church. There's a power structure with the secret society. There is a power structure within that that actually engages in this type of behavior. Again, I'm going to read it back to you again now that we kind of uncoded it all. We have a hidden slush fund with South American Nazi, which means that this is underfunneled, hidden, behind the scene. They call it behind the scenes interference. So this is behind the scenes, right? These three cards represent behind the scene. With yuppies, which represent they mask themselves as liberal, but really they are conservative at the core. They represent a secret society of assassins. They basically are a society that is grouped in a cult-like behavior that engages in computer espionage, which essentially is they mess with the way things are. They mess with the game. They see life as the game player. That if you can mess with that, you can win. So they cheat. There's a lot of cheating going on. And here you have it, the strike, which is liberal. They cause strike. They appear as if they get what they want. That we don't support that, but behind the scenes, we don't care. Like, for example, I'm getting information right now that these people could go to, like, Israel or, that's a bad example. Go to, like, Ukraine and say, we don't support war. But yet they are actively engaging in behavior that initiates war, or to rile up or say that behind the scene that they support the war, but they really publicly say one thing, do something behind the door. That's kind of like the behavior. Not saying it has to do anything in relation to the Pope. It does not come up with the Pope, but it comes behind the underground network. And here you have it, the Pentagon, which means it's an organized structure of balance of power. There's definitely a pyramid. There's definitely a power structure here, and it's very well organized. But it could be striked. It could be taken down. They could and possibly be seeking to overtake the Vatican. It does feel like there is energy here as well to overshadow the Pope in some way. I don't know how that will work, but they are almost like in some way they're looking to overshadow the Pope, or to try to force the Pope to do things the Pope wouldn't want to do. And here you have here on the bottom deck here is comic book, wham, weird and violent. We have here is reverse. This is saying here it's not all that seems. Don't think about like what happened in the comic book. It's weirder. Whatever happened is weirder. It's very hard to transcribe it, but it's something that we never believe. Oh, actually, remember how I talked about before about the Munchkin? The Munchkin, how it's very weird. Well, I just looking at my thing and look what just comes up on the Illuminati. Munchkin. Anyway, and then we have here the Texas in reverse. Texas in reverse. These are pretty interesting. We talk about the Catholic Church and the underground network. This feels like very much like a pizza parlor, for example. This is the best way I can describe it. You go to a pizza place back in the 80s, completely fine. The pizza's great. You're having fun, enjoying it. Behind the scenes, there's the mafia. That type of behavior. It doesn't mean that it's the whole church. It might just appear that only certain pieces of it are. My hair is a little weird right now. I'm going to get my hair done next week, but gotta grow it out while I still can. So it's very hard to maintain loopy hair. Anyway, besides the point, we're going to ask the very last question in regard to J.D. Vance and find out any connection to him, to the Illuminati and to the Opus. Well, not really Illuminati, Opus, DEI, and Leonard Kim. And then we'll end off today's video because it's way too long of a video. But I know a lot of you guys have requested this. A lot of you guys actually requested this video, kind of shockingly. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So Spirits and Angels tell me, is J.D. Vance in some way connected to Opus DEI? If so, show me J.D. Vance and his connection to the Opus DEI, especially his role as vice president. Okay, that's way too many. Way too many. They're telling me to take it. So the way we're going to do it is we are going to keep it the way that it fell. Okay. I'm going to bring this down so you can see it more. Okay. So this is interesting because we're asking about J.D. Vance and the connection to this organization, to this cult-like behavior. The first thing that comes up is fraternal order. Conservative. This is very interesting. It comes up as reverse. He is really what the goal is, and in connection to it is he is moving up his power rank. I don't know if they have rank in there, but based on what I got in the past reading before this one, it feels like there is a power structure, and that J.D. Vance is slowly going up the power structure. Right? The goal is to get him into the presidency. What I'm getting information already is that there is a battle between many secret societies and trying to get their position or their person in position of power. But it feels very much like the fraternal order. This is going to be the first big one. They are so close to the presidency, but yet so far. Their goal is to put him as president. That is the goal of the fraternity order, right? The Opus DEI. Right? In order to control the judicial branch, you need the presidency. Donald Trump doesn't feel like he's involved in this. J.D. Vance, however, he is. And a way in order for them to be able to sway the Supreme Court in their favor is to take the presidency. The card that is challenging this in the upright position, what is headed in this direction? Because when a card is this way, it means it's in the past tense. When a card is reversed, like this way, it's in the future tense. This card, for convenience stores, is in the past. This means chug a mug. It means convenience store. Straight. We all know he's anything but straight. We also have here KGB. Any attempt to destroy a group. Top secret information. Spy. Communist or violent. Spy. So remember, we said many times that J.D. Vance is a spy for somebody. It makes a lot of sense now. Why? We also have here what is heading in the future. Madison Avenue. Madison Avenue. Oh my God. Hold on. No, that's Pennsylvania Avenue. Let me find out what Madison Avenue is. Madison Avenue. Madison Avenue. Okay, so Madison Avenue in New York. It's a real estate developer in Midtown East Manhattan. Okay, so it's a real estate developer. You need more stuff. This is Madison Avenue, which represents an attempt to control big media or MTV, which is the controlling big media. We have here as well is more minority, and we have clone arranger, violent communist criminal, which is interesting because we have here clone arranger. I don't know exactly where this would position, but it's kind of interesting how like 45 was saying, oh, they're cloned or whatever, they cloned Biden, whatever. Kind of interesting that this could come up randomly for J.D. Vance. Violent communist criminal. I'm going to keep this as straight. We also have here more minority. Remember, he is also in connection with Opus DEI. At least that's what it says here, because this is a card that comes up many times in this reading for Opus DEI and for like Leonard Leonard Leo, stuff like that. More minority, conservative, straight fanatic. That is how they describe him. We also have here what is also who he is and what role did he play in the Opus DEI is Murphy Law. Right? So, Murphy Law. So, let me just find out. Murphy Law. Let's find out what Murphy Law is. Murphy Law. Let's find out what Murphy Law is. It says here, Murphy Law is a humorous observation or adage stating that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's often used to explain unfortunate or unexpected events. The first known use of the term was in 1951. Interesting, because if you guys all remember, I did a lot of things like this. So let me pull it up for Vance. Okay, so we had here, ironically enough, Murphy Law. We talked about this many times, where there's many things, weird coincidences, that no matter where J.D. Vance goes, something bad happens. Well, I did an entire video dedicated to this specific event. It calls here J.D. Vance series of unfortunate events, which I will put at the end of the video, in the description and the comment section below. We also did a part 2, which is talking about J.D. Vance and the hand of death, which is also, again, whatever he touches dies, or whatever. The whole point is that is the whole concept of Murphy Law, right? Now, you're probably wondering, well, Chris, that makes no sense. What does Murphy's Law have to do with J.D. Vance? Well, the last time he visited the Pope, specifically Pope Francis died a day later. We had here, he goes into India, and what they call it, there was a terrorist attack in India, and then when he left, there was a war between Pakistan and India. And then there was a whole bunch of things that wherever J.D. Vance goes, problems follow. That's the Murphy Law effect. That's what they say he represents. That's who he is. He is at a core the Murphy Law. He represents Murphy Law. We have here, we have the disturbance of the chivalry, which is disturbance. So in a way, this is his own undoing, but that's just part of his power, his ability to get the goal that they need to do. Now, remember, there is a risk to this as well. The risk is that although Murphy Law applies to J.D. Vance and the people who he interacts with, the Murphy Law also indicates as well is that because of people who he interacts with at the time, it could also spell the end of the order. It could spell the end of the DEI in the future. But right now, they have a lot to benefit from that. And here you have it, the phone company connection. We have infrared. I'm getting the energy infrared, temperature, heat, hot, cold, hot, cold. You just kind of see that in the temperature infrared. There's something here with infrared here. Under here, clone arranger infrared. And we have here the cold, right? Here we have what's headed in the future tense is we have the China campaign donor, communist. Again, spy. What is it with the communists? I don't have no idea, but it keeps coming in as spy. We keep getting this in our readings, so it makes a lot of sense. What is headed in the future? We have here something with guns. So remember, we talked about how there's a whole agenda of this Opus DEI and what's it called, Leonard Leo, excuse me, is actually engaged in trying to ensure gun rights in some way. And here you have punk rockers, which means weird. And then we have here Democrats, liberal, right? Remember, I said that it's not just Republicans who are actually engaged in this. This is also Democrats as well. I cannot confirm this because, again, this is a blind read. I don't know if Democrats are actually involved in this. You guys asked me to do this video, and I was like, okay, let me do the video because I like to do stuff that without knowing too much information because it makes things more genuine. And then you can back it up and see if it's true or not. And then here you have here, we have here, what does it connect? We know who J.D. Vance is and what he's up to in the order and in the fraternity, or whatever you want to call it, in the cult-like behavior, right? But we're asking, what role does he play? These are the two cards that represent it. We have here professional sport, which means violent and fanatic. Money, he plays not only for the team, but he plays for an internal mission, his heart, the whispering campaign. His purpose is to essentially sway the president to do things in the order in which the order wants it to happen. So, who is J.D. Vance and what is he supposed to do? His J.D. Vance goal and purpose is to extend up the ranks, but to also influence the president of the United States in a very particular fashion. To be able to get the order, his order, when I say the order, what represents the secret society and his mission to be enacted. So that when J.D. Vance goes in, they're already ahead of the game. And let's take a look at the top of the deck here. We have here the top of the deck here, we have Goldfish, Fancier, peaceful, fanatic. He seems peaceful. But anybody knows Murphy Law, wherever J.D. Vance goes, it's anything but peaceful. We have here Deep Agent. Right? Peaceful, but that's not really true. Right? He's a deep agent. This is the top of the deck. What's on the bottom of the deck? We have Weird and Fanatic. Kai, I'm K-Bob. That's what it says here. And we have here Trekkies. I don't know what that is, so let's find out what Trekkies is, because I have no idea. Okay, what is Trekkies? What is Trekkies? Okay, Trekkie or Trekker is a fan of Star Trek franchise or a specific television series or film within that franchise. The show developed a following shortly after premiere, with the first Fandine premiering in 1967. The first fan convention took place the year the original series ended. Okay. Let me just see what is it called again? Oh my God, it's called Star Trek. Okay, what is Star Trek? What is Star Trek? Is that like Star Wars? It says here, Star Trek is a science fiction media franchise primarily known for its television series and film created by Gene Roddenberry. It follows the adventures of a crew of the starship USS Enterprise and the exploration of space, focusing on a future where humanity has overcome its history of hardship and war to achieve a state of global peace. A war to achieve state of global peace. The franchise is known for its optimistic vision of the future, showcasing a diverse and multicultural society exploring new life and civilization. Interesting. Okay, interesting. And we have here underneath the Trekkies, we have here white, what's representing there's no good intention here. So this is what I guess the Trekkies mean good intention of what you want for the future, and here is nothing. It's blank. What's behind that? We have market manipulation behind the scenes, the bull. What could it make sense? Because we have here Madison Avenue. He hasn't ascended to this role yet. He is in this phase here. Well, he's actually in the Murphy Law phase. This is where he is now. This is where he's going to be. He's going to be extending to the role. And here underneath that, you have the Semi-Conscious Liberation Army, which means basically a spy. And then we have here, and then eventually he will have access to the Pentagon. Right now, he is not the president, but they're saying they're trying to make him president. That's essentially what's going to happen. Alright guys, I think this is pretty much it. I know a lot of you guys asked for this video, so I hope you guys liked today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all in the next video. Hope you guys liked today's video. Thank you for watching. I love you. Peace out. Bye.